हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees for this special program organized by Santosh Prabhu on the occasion of Rama Navami today. So, for the next 1 hour or so, we will discuss few glories of Lord Ramachandra. So, Lord Ramachandra is one of the most popular and beloved incarnations of the Supreme Lord. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Paripranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So in every yuga, the Supreme Lord appears on this earthly planet to protect righteous people, virtuous people, and to punish vicious people, and also to establish dharma. So this is the purpose of the Lord's incarnations, and the Lord appeared as Ramachandra. So in Treta Yuga, to protect dharma and to punish miscreants like Ravana and other demons, Kumbhakarna, and also set the right and ideal example for all human beings to follow. So, Valmiki Muni practically begins Ramayana with a few shlokas that describe various qualities of Lord Ramachandra. Who is that person who has all these good qualities? About 16 qualities are mentioned, and all these qualities are present in Lord Ramachandra. Konvasmin sampratam loke gunavantahcha viryavan धर्मज्ञश्च कृतज्ञश्च सत्यवाक्यो दृढव्रतः चारित्रेण च को युक्तः सर्वभूतेषु को हितः विद्वान् कः कः समर्थश्च कोश्च कश्च एकप्रिय प्रियदर्शनः आत्मवान् कोचित् क्रोधो द्युतिमान् को न सूयकः कस्य बिभ्यति देवाश्च जात रोषस्य संयुगे कौन वस्मिन् सांप्रतां लोके गुणवान् कः च वीर्यवान् who is that person who is gunavan who has all auspicious qualities वीर्यवान who is very powerful dharmavan dharmagna one who knows Vedic dharma kritagna one who has gratitude so who is the abode of all these good qualities that is Lord Ramachandra so Lord Ramachandra is worshipped by all these good qualities. He is an abode of all wonderful exemplary qualities according to Ramayana written by Valmiki Muni. So Lord Ramachandra's glories are described by several scriptures, especially Ramayana. Even in Bhagavatam also we find his glories. And many other devotees also have written so many compositions and songs, especially in South India. Several Vaishnava acharyas have written elaborate commentaries and given explanations and prayers describing the glories of Lord Ramachandra. He is considered very ideal personality. So, Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunadhaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. So, let us offer our obeisances to Rama, Ramabhadra, Ramachandra. Raghunatha means he is the best of all descendants of Raghu dynasty. Right? Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Let us offer obeisances to Sitapati, Sita Devi's husband, Lord Ramachandra. Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam. Valmiki is considered kokila here, a nightingale or a cuckoo bird that sings so sweetly. So this Valmiki kokila, this nightingale of Valmiki, so beautifully sang in a sweet voice the glories of Lord Ramachandra. Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam. So that Madhura Aksharam, the enjoyable sweet syllables of Ra and Ma are so lovingly uttered by Valmiki, and Ramayana is coming from the mouth of Valmiki. Right? Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam. So Ram, this holy name of Lord Ram is coming from the tree of poetry written by our Valmiki Muni. So in this way, Valmiki is appreciated and even Ram is appreciated. And because Ramayana is so popularly, vividly available, accessible to people, even in the previous yugas, Sukadeva Goswami did not choose to elaborately describe Ramayana within Bhagavatam because it's well known to people. Okay. So now today, in the next 1 hour or 45 minutes, whatever, let us remember the glories of Lord Ramachandra's devotees. Okay. So recently, I think few days back, we had a session where we were discussing some glories of Lord Ramachandra. So today, I feel we'll discuss some glories of Lord Ramachandra's devotees. So Ram had so many devotees during his manifest pastimes, and he has unlimited devotees after he went back to the spiritual world also, of course. So you know this Navavidha Bhakti. There are 9 processes of devotional service. They are Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoha Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. So Shravanam means hearing about the Supreme Lord. Kirtanam, glorifying the Lord, either through personal chanting or congregational singing or even speaking about the Lord. Okay. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Next is Smaranam, remembering the Lord. Padasevanam means serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Archanam is worshipping the Lord. Whether you offer patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, whatever you want to offer, you can offer to the Lord. So that is called Archanam. Then Archanam, Vandanam. Vandanam means offering prayers to the Lord. Okay. So Dasyam means serving the Lord as a servant, in the mode of a servant. Then Sakhyam means being friendly with the Lord. Atmanivedanam is basically to surrender oneself, to dedicate oneself completely to the Lord. Okay. So we know there are very popular examples within our scriptures who demonstrated these 9 processes of bhakti. Who is the best example of Shravanam? Hearing, Parikshit Maharaj. Kirtanam means glorifying the Lord, Sukadeva Goswami. Smaranam, Prahalad Maharaj. Then Padasevanam, we have Lakshmi Devi directly. Archanam, Prutha Maharaj. Vandanam, Akrura. Then Dasyam, Hanumanji. Okay. Then Sakhyam is Arjuna. Okay. Atmanivedanam, Bali Maharaj. And who is that person who has rendered all these processes? Ambarish Maharaj. So, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu written by Rupa Goswami talks about Ekanga Bhakti and Anekanga Bhakti. Ekanga Bhakti means attaining perfection just by following one limb of devotional service. Anekanga Bhakti means you perform multiple limbs of devotional service and attain perfection. Now, within Ramayana, several devotees of Lord Ramachandra also exemplified these processes. So, let us recollect the stories or pastimes or activities or qualities of those devotees who have demonstrated these Navavidha Bhakti, these 9 practices of devotional service. Shravanam, we saw in general Parikshit Maharaj is the best example of Shravanam. Within the devotees of Lord Ramachandra, who is the best example of Shravanam? Hanuman. So, Sri Vaishnavacharya say, of course, there are many people who are good examples of Shravanam, no doubt. They are very eager to hear about Lord Ramachandra. Even Kulashekar Alvar, who wrote Mukundamala Stotra, he is also a great hearer of Ramayana. He is so absorbed in the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra that when he is hearing the pastimes of Lord Ram, he will just enter into the pastime and he may just get to fight with Ravana by organizing his soldiers. His absorption is so deep. So, Shravanam, like there are so many examples of Shravanam, but one example, prominent example is Hanumanji. Hanumanji is the best example of Shravanam amongst the Rama Bhaktas, mainly because Hanumanji did not just hear about Lord Ramachandra's pastimes within Ramayana. He is hearing Ramayana even now. When we are sitting together and discussing Ramayana, he is sitting there and hearing. When other devotees are discussing Ramayana at different place, different temple, there also he is hearing. So Hanuman is so eager to hear. As long as Rama Katha exists in this world, as long as Lord Ramachandra's pastimes are being discussed on this planet, Hanumanji within his self-same body stays there to continue to hear about Ram, right? He is the best example of Shravana. So, like entire Sundarakanda within Ramayana is dedicated to describe the pastimes of Hanumanji. So, the best part of Ramayana is considered Sundarakanda. In such a beautiful episode, the most crucial section of Ramayana, Ram took a low profile, Ram took a back seat and pushed Hanumanji in front. Okay, you be the hero of this episode. So, Hanumanji is the hero in Sundarakanda, not Ramachandra. Okay, so the service rendered by Lord Hanumanji is unparalleled. Hanumanji, what all services he has done to Lord Ram. So, first thing he found Sita Devi, who is like the life of Lord Ramachandra. And he also saved Lakshman by bringing Sanjeevani from the Himalayas. He saved Lakshman, and Ram just embraced Hanumanji. He didn't know what to do, what else he can offer. Okay, so Hanumanji also led this construction of this big bridge, stone bridge across the ocean. He was going to different places and bringing mountain peaks and stones and boulders for the construction of this bridge. And even he was getting billed as Govardhan mountain also. So, construction of the bridge. But as he is on the way, when he came to Vrindavan, he has heard from the Vanaras, don't worry, the bridge construction is over, we don't need any more rocks. Then Hanumanji placed Govardhan at Vrindavan only, so that Govardhan gets opportunity to serve Lord Krishna instead of Lord Ramachandra. Okay, so Govardhan could not serve Ram and Lakshman, but Govardhan rendered so much service to Krishna and Balaram. Okay, manam tanoti sahago gadayostayorya paniya suyavasakandara kandabulaihi. So in this way, Govardhan rendered service. Now coming back to Hanumanji, if we just count about Hanuman services, whole lecture will go in that only. So Hanuman Jayanti day we will discuss more. Today is Ram Navami day. We will discuss more about Ram's devotees. Second process of bhakti is Kirtanam. So many devotees did Kirtanam of Lord Ramachandra. Even Hanumanji did Kirtan. So Hanumanji did Kirtan of Ram when he went to Lanka. To attract the attention of Sita Devi, Hanumanji began chanting the holy names of Ram and chanting the pastimes of Ram. Okay, so that is Kirtanam. But the best example of Kirtanam within Ram's devotees is given as Valmiki. So Valmiki is the best example of all devotees who did Kirtanam. Okay. Of course, Lavakusha also did Kirtanam. They did a lot of Kirtan, but Lavakusha learned Ramayana from Valmiki only. Okay, so Valmiki is considered, because he wrote Ramayana, right? So he is the best example of Kirtanam. Then third is Smaranam. Smaranam is remembering the Lord. So the best example of Smaranam is Sita Devi herself, because when Sita was captivated in Lanka by Ravana, not even a single moment, even for a single moment, she did not forget Lord Ramachandra. She was constantly absorbed in Ram consciousness, right? We speak about Krishna consciousness, right? She is Ram conscious. So she was always remembering Lord Ramachandra. She is the most chaste woman. So fourth is Pada Sevanam. So Sita Devi, it was not necessary for her to do Vanavas. Ram was told to go for Vanavas. According to Kaikeyi's boons, it was Ram who was supposed to go to Vanavas and not Sita Devi. But still Sita Devi voluntarily chose to follow her husband and enter the forest and undergo a lot of difficulties there. One more thing, although Sita kind of doubted Lakshmanji at one moment, because you know that whole episode where Ram runs behind that so-called golden deer, who is actually Maricha demon. Then Ram kills the demon, and the demon imitates Lord Ram's voice and then calls out for help from Lakshman. And Sita Devi says, please go and protect your brother, you should help your brother. Then Lakshman says, I will not go. So, not that Sita literally had a doubt on Lakshman's character. Sita had to say something very heavy, because Sita understands Lakshman is very determined, he is very confident that nothing can happen to Lord Ramachandra. He is not willing to go. Somehow or the other, I must inspire Lakshman to go. I need to say something very heavy, very strict. Then only he will move from here, because of her intense affection for Lord Ramachandra, intense love for Lord Ramachandra. She had to send Lakshman. So she said that. After that, she regretted also. Why did I say this to my brother-in-law, who is like my son? So she regretted, but she had to say that so that Lakshman goes. Right. So from one perspective, it's an offense. From another perspective, it is love for Lord Ramachandra. Okay. Same thing with Lakshman also. When Lakshman doubted Bharat, when Bharat came to bring Lord Ramachandra from the forest to the city, Ayodhya, Lakshman saw Bharat from a distance and doubted. Because of this Bharat, Ram is in forests now. Now he is coming with his Sena, with his armies to attack Lord Ramachandra. Lakshman doubted Bharat. But later, Ram clarified things, and Bharat's innocence and his purity, his love for Lord Ramachandra is revealed. But why did Lakshman doubt Bharat? Lakshman had nothing against Bharat. But out of love, intense love for Lord Ramachandra, Lakshman doubted Bharat. Okay. Although we may have love for the Lord, we should be careful in our dealings with devotees. Out of love for the Lord, we cannot offend devotees. So that's the lesson there. I think we discussed it we will discuss it some other time, and we have discussed it also recently in another session. So, but Sita had that much love for Lord Ramachandra. Okay. So Sita's chastity, Sita's remembrance of Lord Ramachandra was so intense, was so deep, as described by Valmiki in Ramayana. Okay. Then it's extremely difficult for a chaste woman even to stand in front of another man, what to speak of sit in front of a lusty man who is constantly coming and pleading her on a daily basis. You please become my queen, become my queen. Sita tolerated all of them only with the hope that Ram will come one day. One day Lord Ramachandra will come. Sita's consciousness was so pure that although all the demonesses around Sita Devi were regularly doing Ramana Katha, regularly glorifying Lord Ramana and then forcing Sita to submit to Ravana, her mind did not deviate from the thought of Lord Ram even for a moment, even for a fraction of a second. Okay, so that is her purity. She is the purest devotee of Lord Ramachandra, who is directly the consort of Lord Ram, and she is an example of Smarana, constant remembrance of Lord Ramachandra. Then fourth aspect of bhakti is Pada Sevana. Of course, several devotees have done Pada Sevana. Several devotees rendered service to Lord Ramachandra's lotus feet. But the best example is Bharat. So he did service not just to the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra, but to the Paduka of Lord Ramachandra for 14 years. Okay. So he rendered service to Lord Ram's not just Pada but Paduka, the sandals. So he made the Paduka the hero, Paduka the king. So let these sandals of Lord Ramachandra, which were under the feet of Lord Ramachandra, rule the kingdom. So I am a servant of the lotus feet of Lord Ram. I am servant of the sandals of Lord Ramachandra. I will just take the responsibility of the kingdom on behalf of Lord Ramachandra. I will be a representative of Lord Ram's lotus feet or sandals. So that is Bharat's dedication. So Bharat is an example of such pure dedicated service without seeking any facilities or incentives. Okay. For Bharat, material opulence is a burden without Lord Ramachandra. Okay, I cannot sit on this throne. This entire responsibility of the kingdom is a big burden on my head without Lord Ramachandra. It's not that the devotee is afraid of service. Devotees are not afraid of service to the Lord. Any amount of service, the devotees are eager to do, willing to do that. But devotees are like detached from material enjoyment, reluctant to accept any position. They accept service, they accept responsibility, but they don't accept any facility or position or name, fame, prestige. That is their consciousness, right? So Bharat is a very wonderful example of Pada Sevana. Then Archanam. Archanam means worship. Okay. Shabari is a wonderful example of Archanam because she has been waiting, longing to meet Lord Ramachandra. According to the instruction of her spiritual master, she has been waiting for such a long time. And as soon as Lord Ramachandra came, she was offering the best fruits to Lord Ramachandra. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. As a part of your worship, you can offer patram pushpam phalam toyam, anything to the Lord. She was offering fruits. Of course, she offered other things also. She offered water also. She offered other things also as a part of her worship. But specifically offering this fruit, which she has eaten, has gathered a lot of attention from all the devotees. How can you offer something to the Lord which you yourself has eaten? It's contaminated, right? So I eat something and then offer to the Lord. How can you call it as Archana? So as a part of our Archana, our deity worship, we offer so many things. Right now we just had Abhishek, Ramanavami Abhishek here. And now Bhoga offering is completed now. Maharti is also completed. So we offer so many items to the deities, so we can't taste it before offering. Okay, then that's not considered pure worship. But Shabari tasted the berries before offering to the Lord, and she is a good example of Archana. How is it possible? Is there a contradiction? But because she has done it with pure love, let Lord Ramachandra not eat any bitter fruits. The fruit should be of very good quality. Then only I will offer it to the Lord. So in her deep absorption in love for Lord Ramachandra, she is worshipping the Lord with jhota fruits, not fresh fruits. Then sixth is Vandanam. Vandanam, the example of Vandanam is Dandakaranya sages. So during Lord Ram's exile, Ram went to different places like Chitrakoot, Dandakaranya and other places. So he met a lot of sages. He met Bharadwaja Muni, he met many other sages, Agastya Muni also I think. He met many sages, and some of the sages offered heartfelt prayers to Lord Ramachandra. They did Vandanam. And some of the sages even desired to become associates of Lord Ramachandra. They said, "Oh Lord, we are attracted to you. You are so beautiful." And they kind of developed a conjugal attraction, like the mood of the consorts of the Lord. But Ram said, one thing is, you are in male bodies, I am in male body. Second thing is, I have taken a vrata of Ekapatni vrata. So I cannot accept you. I cannot accept love for you in this flavor. It's pure spiritual love. There is no material lust there. So, Lord Ramachandra said, fine, when I appear again in my complete spiritual form as Lord Krishna, you all can become gopis of Vrindavan. They are called Munichari gopis or Rishichari gopis. So, amongst the gopis of Vrindavan, there are different types of gopis. Okay, one type of gopis are like original Nitya Siddha devotees. They are pure devotees of the Lord who have descended from the Goloka Vrindavan planet to participate in the Lord's pastimes here. So they are one category of gopis, Nitya Siddha gopis. But there are other gopis also. They are like Rajanuga Bhaktas or Sadhana Siddha gopis. They followed in the footsteps of real gopis of Vrindavan, and they also developed that gopi bhava. They are Shrutichari gopis and Munichari gopis prominently. Shrutichari gopis means the personified Vedas. The Vedas, the Vedic scriptures personified, they also followed the footsteps of the gopis and they became gopis in Vrindavan. And Munichari gopis or Rishchari gopis are the sages who saw Lord Ramachandra and became attracted to Lord Ramachandra in a Madhurya mood, in that Madhurya flavor. So they offered great prayers to the Lord. They glorified the Lord's attributes in various ways. Vandanam. Of course, Rama is not filled with so many prayers or so many praises, because Ram's main agenda in this incarnation is to set ideal example as a human being. Okay, he did not exhibit his godhood so vividly, although he did superhuman activities, but generally he behaved more like a human being. So superhuman activities he did, and godhood he could not hide his godhood in few contexts in this world. One is when he gave liberation to Jatayu. You know, Jatayu has sacrificed his life. So when Lord Ramachandra went out to catch that deer, and Lakshmana also went to help Lord Ramachandra, apparently, then Ravana came in the disguise of a sage and kidnapped Sita Devi. He was taking Sita Devi in his Pushpaka Viman through the sky. At that time, Jatayu saw. So now there are multiple ways of responding to a situation. Jatayu could have evaluated his strength in comparison to the strength of Hanumanji. Not Hanuman, Ravana. Ravana is a great fighter, great demon who had 10 heads and multiple weapons. He had this Pushpaka chariot. He is happily going there. And Jatayu is a vulture, just a vulture. So what is Jatayu's strength in comparison to Ravana's strength? Logically speaking, Jatayu can stand nowhere in front of Ravana. And probably if Jatayu had thought even for a moment, Jatayu could have come to this understanding. Okay, I can't do anything anyways. Let me inform Lord Ramachandra. I'll wait for Ram to come. I'll give this news and I'll keep quiet. No, he did not do like that. So Jatayu did not take the obvious choice or a mediocre choice. Jatayu chose to fight with Ravana. I will do whatever is possible for me, best possible for me to protect Sita Devi. Jatayu went. And in the big fight, Ravana had cut the wings of Jatayu and then Jatayu fell down. And later, Lord Ramachandra has seen Jatayu. And Jatayu was like the father of Lord Ramachandra. Because Lord Ramachandra did the funeral rites of Jatayu, just like a son. So sons do funeral rites of last rites of fathers, right? So Jatayu was accepted as father in one sense by Lord Ramachandra. And finally Ram gave liberation to Jatayu. So he's playing the role of a human being, but suddenly he assumed godhood. Assumed means he manifested godhood and gave liberation to Jatayu. That is one context where Ram exhibited his godhood. Okay. There are a few other contexts. Very rarely he exhibited godhood. Of course, while building the bridge also. So Lord Ramachandra is recognized as the Supreme Lord by the Dandakaranya sages, and they also kind of developed that conjugal mood, and they are the best examples of Vandana. Then seventh is Dasyam. So Dasyam, the best example of Dasyam is Lakshmana. Of course, Hanuman is also an example. But here Lakshman is considered here. Hanuman is already counted as an example of Shravanam. So Lakshman's dasyam or servitorship to Lord Ramachandra is very intense and consistent and continuous. See, Lord Ramachandra, only during the last 1 year of his exile, he met Hanumanji. Till then also he was receiving services from Lakshman. So Lakshman is a constant companion of Lord Ramachandra in all happy moments of Ramayana, in all tragic moments of Ramayana also. Okay. Lakshman accompanied Lord Ramachandra when Ram went to protect the sacrifice of Vishwamitra, isn't it? So Vishwamitra came to Dasharatha Maharaj and requested Dasharatha Maharaj to send Ram only. He never asked for Lakshman. But Lakshman also accompanied. Dasharatha said, okay, please take Lakshman also. Vishwamitra said, okay, fine, let him come, no problem. So I want Ram, but Lakshman is coming, fine, let us do it. So Lakshman did not leave Lord Ramachandra even for a moment throughout Ramayana. So just like Sumitra gave birth to two sons. Who are they? Lakshmana and Shatrugna. Okay. Ram is the son of Kaushalya and Bharat is the son of Kaikeyi. So Lakshman, one son of Sumitra, became a constant companion and constant servant of Lord Ramachandra. And another son of Sumitra, Shatrugna, he became a constant companion and servant of Bharata. So amongst these four brothers, two are together and other two are together. Ram and Lakshman, Bharata and Shatrugna. Okay. So just like Lakshman had this servant mood towards Lord Ramachandra, Shatrugna had servant of servant mood towards Bharata. Okay. So Bharata is servant of Ram, Shatrugna is servant of servant. He's constantly in the background. He hardly had any interaction with Ram directly. Okay. So Dasyam, the best example of Dasyam is Lakshmana. So Lakshmana always accompanied Lord Ramachandra in Ayodhya, in Dandakaranya, in Chitrakoot, throughout Vanavas, during the war especially, right? So Lakshman's service attitude is unimaginable. So we can offer prayers to Lakshman to get that mood of service, because he's the best example of Dasyam, servitude. And in fact, being an expansion of Balaramji, non-different from Balaramji, he is constantly absorbed in servitude of Lord Ramachandra. But at the end of Ramayana, Lakshman thought that because I am younger brother of Ram and I am servant of Lord Ramachandra, whether the orders given by my master Ram are appealing to me or not, I am supposed to follow. It's too austere. To be a subordinate, to be a servant, to be a younger brother is extremely austere. So let me take the role of elder brother. Okay. So when the Lord descended as Krishna, so Lakshman became elder brother, Balaramji, right? So now Krishna cannot order Balaramji. So see, Lakshman became so sad to see Ram undergoing so many sufferings. It is Lakshman who has witnessed how much Ram had suffered in separation from Sita Devi. So by the time Ram went to Rishyamukha mountain and made friendship with Hanumanji and Sugriva, he lamented a lot. All that lamentation was personally, directly witnessed by Lakshman only firsthand. In his anger and in his sadness, in his lamentation, Ram was about to destroy the entire creation. And Lakshman being an expansion of Adisesha, Anantasesha, okay, or being the source, whatever. So being not different from Anantasesha, he is personification of service. Anantasesha is just meant for just rendering service to the Lord as bed. So similarly, Lakshman did not sleep for even one moment in 14 years. He was away from his mother Sumitra, away from his wife Urmila, away from all the palace comforts of Ayodhya. He is constantly accompanying Lord Ramachandra, being chastised by Ram, being chastised by Sita Devi also. Sita doubted Lakshman. Lakshman was devastated, but still he did not give up that service. Enough of Vanavas. Sita is doubting me. I'll just go to Ayodhya. I'll go back. I consider her mother, and then Sita is doubting me. I'll just go back. He did not say like that. So he went to search for Ram according to the order of Sita Devi. Then Ram saw Lakshman. He asked. He reported that that's not golden deer, as you have guessed. It's not a golden deer. It is a demon. I have killed a demon. But my question to you is, why did you leave Sita alone and come here? Then Lakshman said, actually Sita is very much worried about you, Ram. So she told me to go and help you. Then Ram said, what do you think? I'll be affected by some Rakshasa or what? Even if he's a Rakshasa, I can kill him. Recently you have seen, and Sita also has seen, me fighting with Khara and Darshana and 14,000 soldiers. I destroyed all of them within a few moments. Don't you know my power? You are coming to help me. And you have violated my order of protecting Sita Devi. See, Ram ordered Lakshman to protect Sita Devi, and Lakshman just came out to protect Lord Ramachandra. So Ram chastised Lakshman. Now, on one hand, Sita is chastising. Sita scolded him. Sita doubted him. And here Ram is also doubting. What should Lakshman do? I have left all my comforts to serve these two personalities, and these two personalities are doubting me, chastising me, scolding me, and they are sleeping happily, and I am without sleep. For 14 years I did not sleep only. So enough of service, I'll go back to Ayodhya. Lakshman never felt like that. This is service attitude. Sometimes the master may become very strict, may test us, may scold us, may chastise us, may even doubt us. Okay, not only doubting our capability, doubting our integrity also, right? So at heart of the hearts, a genuine master will never doubt the integrity of a genuine servant, but apparently, externally speaking, sometimes there is some doubt expressed, right? So real servant will tolerate all these things and continue to render service. This is Aslishya Vapadaratam Punashtumam Adarshana Marmahatam Karotuva. So it's very difficult when someone doubts one's intentions or doubts one's capabilities. So, but despite all of that, Lakshman is nicely continuing the service, happily continuing the service, right? Tolerating all this distress. So when Lakshman took a decision that next time I will not become younger brother of Ram, I will become older brother, that is not out of his frustration in serving as a subordinate or a servant, but that is his concern for the Lord. I cannot see him suffering. That's the intention. So Lakshman did not say, okay, if I become elder brother, I can order him. He is chastising me, I will chastise him. Right? He is becoming strict with me, I will become strict with him. So that's not the intention of Lakshman. in making a choice to become older brother next time. He could not tolerate the suffering of Lord Ramachandra because he is a senior person, he is elder to him, he cannot say anything. He cannot say anything against him. So he had to tolerate the pain of his elder brother. So when he became Balaramji, then Balaram once went to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, all the gopis of Vrindavan were very much in intense separation from Krishna. They were crying in front of Balaramji. Balaramji, at least you tell your younger brother to come here. I said, Balaramji says, I'll tell them. I'll tell Krishna. I will send Krishna here. Then the gopis said, all the gopis of Krishna come to Balaramji and express their feelings and feelings of separation towards Krishna. Okay. Balaramji had Vatsalya affection towards all these gopis. Okay. Elder brother has Vatsalya affection, parental affection towards the sister-in-law, younger brother's wife. That's the culture. So whenever Balaramji sees Krishna with Radharani or with other gopis, Balaramji just moves ahead. Okay. Whenever the gopis see Krishna and Balaram together, they respectfully move ahead. Okay. So this is the culture amongst the gopis of Vrindavan. So Balaramji had Vatsalya affection towards Krishna, and he also had Vatsalya affection towards Krishna's gopis. When Balaramji did Rasalila, he has his own set of gopis. His Rasalila is with his other gopis, not with these gopis. So when the gopis said, we are missing Krishna, Balaram said, I will bring him here. I will send him here. Then the gopis said, Balaram, before you, Uddhava came here. He also said the same thing. I will send Krishna. He did not send till now. Okay. We are also giving this promise. We are not sure whether you will get or not. You will get Krishna here or not. Then you know what Balaram just said? Uddhava is just a friend of Krishna or servant of Krishna. Uddhava only had Dasya Rasa, maybe little Sakya, but Balaramji had Vatsalya Rasa. He is superior, he is elder to Krishna. Then Balaramji said, see, I am not like Uddhava. I am not just in the mode of servitude. He is also in the mode of servitude, but he is not just being a servant of Krishna. I am also elder brother of Krishna. I have authority over Krishna. I can become strict with him. If he doesn't come, I will catch his hand and pull him to Vrindavan and show him to you. Don't worry. Then the gopis said, yes. When Balaramji gives a reassurance, definitely we will be able to see Krishna. They become more hopeful. Okay. So, anyways, coming back to Lakshmana. So Lakshmana tolerated so many pains in service to Lord Ramachandra. He is the best example of Dasyam. And whenever some service to Lord Ramachandra doesn't happen properly, effectively, Lakshmana becomes very upset. Okay. So he himself does meticulous service. If someone else is supposed to do some service and if he doesn't do that service, Lakshmana becomes very angry. Okay. So Sugriva promised Lord Ramachandra that Ram, you helped me regain my kingdom and wife by killing my elder brother Vali. So I will help you regain your wife. Okay, as soon as monsoon is over, then I will send my thousands and thousands of monkeys in all 4 directions to search for Sita Devi. But Sugriva forgot that promise. Temporarily. He did not intentionally do any mistake. But because he has been in exile, Sugriva also, he has been hiding his face in the mountains and Rishyamukha mountain especially, and did not enjoy the palace comforts like Vali did. Sugriva became a little distracted by all the newly gained opulence because he is doing austerities outside, right? So suddenly he got the kingdom of Vali. So then Sugriva became so absorbed in material enjoyment, drinking wine and then enjoying with other female monkeys, and he was totally in his own way. So Lakshman remembered. So Lakshman told Ram, this Sugriva did not keep his promise. He forgot his promise. Right? We cannot tolerate this. Just give me order. I will go and kill Sugriva. Ram said, hey, you don't have to kill you. Just remind him, give a reminder, and he will do service. If somebody forgets to do some service because of absent-mindedness or some other distraction or something else, you need to give a reminder, not reject or not kill. So Lakshman became very aggressive at that time. He was very angry. I'll just give a warning. Ram said, go and give a warning only. Then Lakshman went and reminded Sugriva, and Sugriva said, okay, fine, I'll do the needful. So, you know what happened later. So Sugriva became so afraid of Lakshmanji, he had sent Tara first. Okay, when Lakshman saw this female monkey, then Lakshman became a little sobered down, because one cannot express one's anger so much in front of a woman as much as he does in front of a warrior or a man. Sugriva kind of saved himself by sending Tara in front of Lakshman. So Lakshman is the best example of this. Then eighth process is Sakhyam. Sakhyam means friendship. So Sugriva is a very wonderful example of Sakhyam. Sakhyam means friendship with the Lord. So definitely Hanumanji's level of devotion is considered higher than even Sugriva. But Sugriva is a Sakhya Bhakta, because Lord Ramachandra has made a promise. Lord Ramachandra did Panigrahan, means he took the hand of Sugriva in his hand, and in front of fire they promised each other that we will protect each other. Your happiness is my happiness, your distress is my distress. So we will help each other. Okay, so they became good friends. So that's one thing. One incident here, when Sugriva met Lord Ramachandra for the first time, he did not offer a seat to Lakshman. Okay, because Sugriva made friendship with Lord Ramachandra. Sugriva thought that me and Ram are equals. Lakshman is a servant of Ram, so I need not offer a seat. He may not deliberately do it, but probably he kind of ignored Lakshman. He did not give sufficient respect to Lakshman as much as he gave to Lord Ramachandra. So Ram noticed it. Oh, Sugriva is offering me a seat, but Sugriva did not offer a seat to Lakshman. Ram noticed it. So Lord Ramachandra became upset with Sugriva. Lord Ramachandra did not express it, because first time they are meeting. Hanumanji noticed Lord Ramachandra's concern. Hanumanji noticed Sugriva's little, foolish activity. Hanumanji immediately broke a tree and then made a nice seat for Lakshman to sit and offered it to sit. There are no sofa sets at that time. They have to depend on rocks and trees only. So Hanumanji made a seat nicely, and then Lakshman sat, and Ram became very pleased with him. And you know what happened later? When Sugriva went to fight with Vali, then Ram did not kill Vali immediately. Ram said that you and your brother Vali are looking alike. So if I release an arrow and if that arrow hits you, what would have happened? So that's why I did not release an arrow. So after Sugriva was beaten up completely by Vali, then Ram reveals this news. Then Lakshman comes with a garland. He had to offer a garland to Sugriva, and Sugriva had to bend his head low, bow down in front of Lakshman to receive that garland of blessing from Lakshman. So with that empowerment given by Lakshman, with that blessing given by Lakshman, Sugriva went to fight with Vali, and then Ram killed him. So, yasya prasada bhagavat prasadu. You will get the grace of the Lord when you receive blessings of Guru. Lakshman is Guru Tattva. Lakshman, Nityananda Prabhu, Balaramji, they're Guru Tattva. So they're like a spiritual master. So unless we bow down in front of Guru, we cannot get the grace of the Supreme Lord. So Sugriva, when he bowed down in front of Lakshman, then Ram helped him. Right? So the Lord doesn't like Vaishnava Aparadh. So the Lord can tolerate anything. The Lord can forgive even an enemy, but he cannot tolerate offense to his devotees. Okay. So anyways, apart from these couple of incidents, Sugriva is a dear friend of Lord Ramachandra, and Sugriva became very grateful. We are Vanaukasaha. We are just forest dwellers, mountain dwellers. Okay. Still, Lord Ramachandra made friendship with all of us. So that is his greatness. So Sugriva offered a prayer to Lord Ramachandra, even in Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, "Na janmanonam mahato na saubhagam navanna buddhir na kritis tosha hetuhum tairyad visrishtan apino vanaukasah chakara sakhe bata lakshmanagrajah na janmanonam mahato na saubhagam." So nothing can please Lord Ramachandra. Nothing material can please Lord Ramachandra. What pleases Lord Ramachandra is just pure devotion. So although we are Vanaukasaha, we are forest dwellers, mountain wanderers, we are monkeys, we are not even human beings. Still Lord Ramachandra has made friendship with us. Chakara Sakhe Bata Lakshmanagrajaha. Even in this prayer also, our Sugriva addressed Lord Ramachandra as Lakshmanagraja. He acknowledged Lord Ramachandra's relation with Lakshmana. The Lord becomes very happy when you address the Lord in relationship with his devotees. Okay, in relationship with devotees, if you glorify the Lord, Radha Raman, Radha Gopinath, Radha Madan Mohan. So when you offer prayers to the Lord and when you address the Lord in connection with his devotees, Yashoda Nandan, Dasharadhi, Ram is called Dasharadhi because he is son of Dasharadh Maharaj. The Lord becomes so happy. So Chakara Sakhya Bata Lakshmanagrajaha. That Lakshmanagraja, the elder brother of Lakshmana, Lord Ramachandra, has made Sakhya, friendship with me. Although I am just a forest dweller, he helped me. So with deep gratitude, Sugriva offered this great prayer to Lord Ramachandra. So Sugriva is a very good example of Sakhya Rasa, Sakhya with the Lord. So next example is Atma Nivedana. So Atma Nivedana means dedicating oneself completely, surrendering oneself completely to the Lord. So that Atma Nivedana, example of Atma Nivedana is Vibhishana. So Vibhishana gave up his demonic dynasty and his elder brother Ravana and completely dedicated himself to Lord Ramachandra. So he is a wonderful example of Atma Nivedana. So Vibhishana's Sharanagati is a very, very big topic. Maybe we can discuss it at some other time. Evening I have another class, I'll discuss there. I don't have time now. It's only 4 minutes left for this session. So Vibhishana just abandoned his elder brother. He has given up his blood relationship also. He has given up his affiliation with a great dynasty and kingdom also. And he has come to take shelter of Lord Ramachandra. Vibhishana did not find it below his prestige to go and take shelter of a human being. Because Vibhishana never considered Lord Ramachandra as a human being. He is the Supreme Lord. He is a very righteous person, virtuous person. So he is the best example of Sharanagati. So now we have discussed examples of Ekanga Bhakti. Ekanga Bhakti means those people who have perfected their bhakti by practicing one limb of bhakti. Of course, all these personalities have done other limbs also, by the way. Okay, not that a person is doing Ekanga Bhakti is fixed up only in that one anga. That's a prominent anga, prominent way of serving the Lord, but they are also into many other limbs. And many other devotees also are good examples of that. All the one example we have prominently discussed. But there is one devotee who has done all these limbs. Who is that? In Ramayana, Guha. So Guha did Shravanam. Okay, he heard about Lord Ramachandra. When Ram, Lakshman, Sita Devi left Ayodhya and went to the forest, they first met Guha. Guha is a tribal person, he's a boatman. So at that time, Ram and Sita were happily sleeping, lying down. Lakshman took a vow, I will not sleep for 14 years. Okay, so he is awake, and Guha also wanted to guard Lakshman, guard Sita and Ram, and he was also awake. So both are awake. What will they do? They did Ramakatha. Okay, so Guha is doing Shravanam and Lakshmi is doing Kirtanam. And Lakshmi is sometimes doing Shravanam and Guha is doing Kirtanam. Okay, so they both read Shravanam and Kirtanam also. Okay, so anyways, Guha is an example of Shravanam also and Kirtanam also. Smaranam also, you remember Lord Ramachandra. Padasevanam, definitely, Guha washed the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra, isn't it? He washed the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra before Ram boarded his boat. That's why there is an example of Padasevanam also. And Archanam, Guha worshipped the Lord, and Vandanam, he offered prayers to the Lord in his own style, as a tribal man. And Dasyam, definitely he did service to the Lord by personally rowing the boat to take Ram, Lakshman, Sita on the other side of the ocean. Saksham, Lord Ramachandra embraced Guha and considered him as a friend. And Atmanivedanam, Guha dedicated himself to the Lord also. So in this way, Guha is a very wonderful example of all the 9 names of Bhakti. So we see Lord Ramachandra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but his manifestation of all the qualities are more on a sober side. Okay, he's called Maryada Purushottam. He's very sober, gentle, and not naughty like Krishna. Okay, so he is a dear personality and dear master of several devotees. So Ram is glorified in this way in another shloka. Sumukham suhridam sulabham sukhadam svanujam cha sakaya mamoghasharam apahaya raghudvahamanyamaham nakathancha nakancha najatu bhaje. Sumukham, Lord has beautiful face, moon-like face. That's why we call him Ramachandra, moon-like face. Moon has some spots, Ram does not have any spots. Okay. Sumukham suhridam sulabham sukhadam. Sumukham, he has beautiful face. Suhridam, he has a beautiful heart also. So the beauty of heart is forgiveness. So there are many aspects of a beautiful heart. A very important aspect of beauty of heart is to be able to forgive an offender. So Ram said, even if Ravana comes and surrenders unto me, I will forgive his offense. Okay. Suhridam. Sulabham, very easily accessible. Accessible not only to Kshatriyas or brave people or human beings, he is accessible to monkeys also, bears also, squirrels also, ascetic women also, even demons also. He is very accessible, very dear, non-controversial personality. Sumukham, suhridam, sulabham, sukhadam. He gives greatest spiritual pleasure. Sumukham, suhridam, sulabham, sukhadam, svanujam cha sukhaya mamoghasharam. Svanujam Sukhaya means he gives pleasure or happiness to his anujas, 3 brothers. Okay, who are they? Lakshman, Bharata, and Shatrugna. He gives a lot of happiness to them by being their leader, by being their idol, by being their master. Right? Amogha Sharam. His Sharam, his Bana, his arrow, is Amogha, is wonderful. It just doesn't have any scope for defeat. Apahaya raghudvahamanyamaham nakathancha nakancha najatu bhaje. So that Raghuram is my dearest master. Nakathanchana kanchana jatu bhaje. I will not worship anyone else apart from Lord Ramachandra. This is how devotees pray. So I'm completely fixed up in my devotion to Lord Ramachandra. So I don't want to deviate from this devotion. So these are some prayers offered to Lord Ramachandra. So with these words, I'll just conclude here. It's 1:17 now in India. So I'll conclude. Thank you very much. Shri Rama Navami Maha Mahotsav ki jai, Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class. Really, so much to take away, really. If you permit me to ask you a question, if you don't mind, please.
Okay, maybe one question, Prabhu, because...
okay, yeah. So, you see, you said that the Dandakaranya rishis are a very good example for Vandanam. So, can we also say that Bibhishan is also a good example for offering prayers, Vandanam, to Lord Ram? And so also...
all these... yes, please go ahead.
Sorry. So, also you mentioned for Atma Nivedanam, it's Bibhishan. So is Jatai also a good example for Atma Nivedanam?
Yes. It's not that these personalities are the only examples of all these processes of bhakti.
Okay.
And they are not examples of only those processes. They are good examples of other processes also. Okay, the best example that we have given for one process can also be a good example for other processes. And there are other personalities who exemplify those processes also. This one example is given as mentioned by the Acharyas. Okay. Yes, definitely Jata is Atmanivedanam. Definitely Jata has dedicated himself, no doubt about that.
Thank you so much. I think I'll ask you another question offline.
Yeah, you can ask, Prabhu. You can ask.
Okay, so Prabhuji, like, so in Ram Raksha Stotra, it says that Charitam Raghunathasya Shatakoti Pravistaram. So the 100 crore verses, how do we kind of understand that? Ramayana has 100 crore verses normally, but we have 24,000 verses. I'm kind of not able to, how do you say, fathom that.
Like technically speaking, I don't know much about the count, but spiritually speaking, it's possible. Some things are inconceivable to us. It may not fit into our logical brain, but it may be possible. Achintya. Why can't there be 100 verses or 100 crore verses glorifying Lord Ramachandra? There can be millions of crores of verses. Why only 100? Okay. Technically, I don't know the details historically, but it's possible. Okay. Lord Rama has unlimited glories, so there can be unlimited verses glorifying him.
Yes, because in that verse it says Ekaika Aksharam Pumsa Mahapatakanashanam. So even one word, one akshara is important, is enough to destroy all our sins. I was very much kind of interested in that. But thank you so much, Prabhuji. Really, really appreciate it.
And consult some Ramayana experts. Verses are there. Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for having me with you. Happy Ramanavami to all the assembled devotees also. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki jai. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for participating.
Happy Ramanavami to you all.
Happy Ramanavami. Thank you so much.
Happy Ramanavami.
Hare Krishna.